And with that, let's send it over to our reporter, Jesse Cook, for more.
Well, Stephen, it's been 282 days since the last lacrosse game in the Dome for the men's team. But there's a big difference between 2022 and 2023. And like you said, it's that freshman class. 15 new recruits, and one of them, Joey Spallina, the #1 in the country. There he is taking his first steps inside the Dome, and it was a pretty big day for him. But Syracuse down 1-0. Sam Alexo has his day, marking the back of the cage. First goal of the season for the Orange. And now Jackson Birtwistle, who was one of the top players at the end of the year, well, he takes a couple darting passes and then finishes, taking a tumble. Bang to the back of the cage. 2-1 Syracuse, the squad's first lead of the year. Joey Spallina making his mark. First goal at the collegiate level for the #1 recruit in the nation. The new era of 22 had begun. 5-5 to score. Will Mark, the goalie for Syracuse, kept it that way. Crouching block, save. He stops it in the 5-hole, and Syracuse keeps it tied. And now the winner, Jackson Birtwistle again. That makes 5 straight games with multiple goals for him dating back to last year. And Owen Hiltz, he's back. 5-hole. He spent more than a year on the injured list. First goal in over 365 days. Big stuff for number 77. And SU had a rough stretch at the end of last season, but Gary Gait credited the win to good, stout defense.
It was a good test for us, and obviously we're a young team, a new team, very different than what we were last year. And we got a lot of work ahead of us to improve. I thought Will Mark was outstanding.
It was an extremely competitive game, but I couldn't be more thankful for the 3 guys in front of me. We've been practicing really hard, obviously all fall, spring, and all week preparing for Vermont, and we performed. So I'm just happy with the shots they were giving up. I made some saves, and at the end of the day, we got a W.
So a big win for Syracuse, 7-5 over Vermont, a really tight defensive battle, and it's not something that SU was really accustomed to the year before with a rotating door of goalies in Bobby Gavin and Harrison Thompson.
Thanks, Jesse. First off, let me just say, love the tide today. It's looking great on you. But I got a couple of questions for you while I have you here. Will Mark, outstanding game, 13 saves in the opener against Vermont. How does he compare to some of the other Syracuse goalies of the past?
Well, like I said, last season was a transition year for Syracuse as far as the man between the pipes. Bobby Gavin and Harrison Thompson, neither one of them really got the definite edge over the other. Will Mark, 13 saves in his first start with the Orange. 13 was the high for either Gavin or Thompson last season. Mark does it in 1, and it helps that the Long Island transfer was named Northeastern Conference Defensive Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons. It's a really underappreciated conference, don't show a lot of tournament bids, so it shows how much Mark stepped up to wear the orange colors, and personally, I think that that's probably the best performance any SU goalie has had since the days of Drake Porter.
Wow, some high praise for Will Mark in the opener. Let's talk about another Long Island boy, but this guy came from high school. Joey Spallina. We heard about him. Everybody knows him. He was the #1 ranked recruit out of high school last year, and he plays for the Orange. His debut, just give me a rating on Spallina's performance against Vermont.
Well, I'm not sure I can give you a quantifiable number 1 to 10. The 22 jersey does look pretty good on him, but it wasn't the best performance for him. Sure, Spallina scored his first goal at the collegiate level, but it was 1 goal on 15 shots. Head coach Gary Gait said after the game that it was pretty undisciplined play from the first-year attack. Now, he also said that there's a learning curve that comes with it, and there's a lot of pressure on Spallina's shoulders to be that superstar for the Orange. So I think when you take into account everything raining down on him as far as pressure, as far as expectations, I think it was an okay performance for Spallina. 15 shots is something he'll want to cut down, but he'll learn the offense more throughout the coming weeks. Mainly, if you're Joey Spallina, stop taking shots when the only guys screening the goalie are defenders. Get more of your own players in front of you. Let the offense run its course around you. Spallina's still 1 goal in 1 game. That's more than either you or I can say, Stephen.
That's true. I'm not the best lacrosse player.